All right, guys, you're welcome to the news review segment. And right now we're going to be diving into Ghana's vibrant democracy and, of course, some of the stories making headlines and shaping the nation's political landscape. So in the studio with me is Ibrahim Ajay, who is the Assistant Secretary at the Office of the President. And you are welcome, sir.
Thank you very much, Chris.
Welcome to Breakfast Daily.
Thank you very much.
All right, so we are going to get straight into it. First of all, we're going to be starting with the Democracy Hub protest. Over 20 demonstrators have been arrested. And obviously, there's been so much conversations about this, especially on social media. Some people actually support the arrest, and some people are saying, oh, is this not a clampdown on our democracy? So what is your stand on this?
Well, first, a very good morning once again, Chris.
Thank you.
My stand is this simple and straightforward. Democracy is what? Government of the people, by the people, and for the people. And within that ecosystem, every citizen should conduct him or herself in a way that's in accordance with the law. The laws of Ghana allow for protest. And I am also a beneficiary of that law. When I say I, as spokesperson for Let My Vote Count Alliance, myself, David Asante, Gabriel Tredako, John Hall. And what we did, if you cast your mind back to September 16th of 2016, we legitimately applied to protest and petition the Electoral Commission then of Charlotte Essay. Not one incident of violence was actually started or instigated by we, the protesters at that time. Though the police came with their batons and then they had fire hoses, beat us. I was, let me say, incarcerated or put in the cells myself. That's September 16th, 2016. Why am I giving this reference point? Because I can stand, I think, with integrity and say that we did not indulge in violence, whereas what happened with Democracy Hub was wanton violence. So definitely, you have to then acknowledge that the police have to do their job and arrest them.
Right.
So that's my take on that.
Right.
It's in order for the law to work, we must also be equitable partners and provide order to that law.
Right,
Yeah.
right. All right, so let me go to your party, right? Does the NPP actually see protests like the Democracy Hub demonstration as a threat? Or just, is it a threat to public order or a threat to your party? What do you think it is?
No, democracy in itself allows for the diverse opinions to find, some resonance within the public space. That's what democracy is. It's of the people. And the last thing we as a party, let alone a government, wants to do is to suffocate that oxygen of protest. It allows for interaction. So there's no threat at all, there's no danger. But when you are given that arena to protest, do so in a way that adds value to the discourse and society. Right. So there's no threat to, there was a demonstration, I think last week or so, the government allowed, as should be the case. And I have to say that, again, as proponents of protests back in 2012, 2013, 14, 15, 16, what used to happen was that the courts would do ex parte motion. In the dead of the night, the police then, I'm talking John Mahama's time, they would go to a judge and then rescind our application to protest.
Right.
We then went to court and said that ex parte facility has to now be expunged, and it's now being done. So there's no threat. We rather want to allow the oxygen of democracy to breathe.
Right.
But all actors must come with equity.
Right.
When you engage in protest.
Right. All right. So joining us in the studio right now is Victor Kwajoga Adawudu, who's the member of the NDC Legal and Communication Team. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Chris.
How are you?
I'm fine. Hey, Ibrahim, how are you?
Very well, thank you.
He's not upstairs, so I'm downstairs.
Wow.
So hardly have I seen him.
Okay.
The longest time.
Yes.
I've missed your bow ties.
Doing well.
Wonderful. Good to see you. And good to see you.
All right. So we were actually having a conversation about the protest yesterday by the Democracy Hub, and also the fact that 20 or so of them have actually been arrested by the police. So what are your thoughts on this? Do you think the police is doing the right thing, to protect law and order, or to encourage law and order, or it's an issue of clamping down on democratic rights of also protesting and making your voice being heard?
I think that democracy is expensive. And in democracies, we have the merits and the demerits that comes with it. It is their right to demonstrate. It is, while they have that right, they also have responsibilities. Now, so when I always look at this law, which allow us, the Public Order Act, that allows us to demonstrate, and the police should give protection, I think what we need to do is the balancing act. But where one group arrogates to himself that I have a right, the responsibility is not there, I think that we need to look at the law again. You see, for some time now, when there's demonstration and people are going on demonstration, they see the police as enemy of progress.
Yeah.
Why should it be so? It's because the way sometimes the police, they always propagate and say police are friends. Police are your friends. And truly,
yeah, they're supposed to be friends.
They are supposed to be our friends. They are our classmates.
Actually, yeah.
We go to the same church. We go to the same school with our children. We know them. Some are our wives. Some are husbands. So why is it that it's so difficult that when it comes to time of demonstration, dialogue and common sense will not be able to work? One of the issues is that, demonstrators has come to believe that anytime they are coming on demonstration, the police will attack them.
Right.
The police will beat them. So when they are also coming, at the back of their mind, when they hurt us, we will also hurt them.
Right.
That has been the issue. It is because the process that they take you through, when you even need to notify the police, sometimes the belligerent position taken by the police, we will not allow you. But the law only says that I should inform you so that you protect me. Once there's a protection, I will not be able to destroy public property. So now, what do we do? Let there be a dialogue and say, look, it's going to be a peaceful demonstration. The police, we are only there to protect you. When there are damages,
yeah,
the leaders would have to be surcharged. I think this is how the law should. So the leaders also know that they are responsibility. Now, when it comes from the other side, the police should not also think that because I'm in the uniform guarantees me some power, and there is brute power. So when I command you, and you don't want to reason and take it, I will have to unleash force on
yeah.
you. I think this is where we need to sit down as a state, as a country, citizens and the police. So far, I think that there had been some demonstration from the police that, yes, they will protect you peacefully, but it gets to a point, they will say, we will not allow you to move on. Once we can sit down and deliberate, if we see ourselves as the same people, I think that we should be able. If not, every time we may be having these issues with the police. And I'm telling you, sometimes they get tired.
Yeah,
They get
so
tired.
Yeah.
They have to bring people from Kumasi, even this demonstration. Because when I went to Kumasi on Friday, I saw VIP buses, police, and I said, what was happening? Apparently, they were all being brought here to Accra. So as a maturing democracy, and we know that, look, no matter what happens, at the end of the day, we all come to the table to dialogue. I think the police should, as they are doing their transformation, they should be part of it. Let the demonstrators know that, look, you have a right. Any day you want to go on demonstration, we will provide
Protection.
But once you get involved and damage any of the things, the law should be able to hold you accountable.
Right.
And I'm sure if the leaders are being held accountable and they are being surcharged with this, we will not see violence because they organize the people. They know the people. Look, I'm telling you, the recent demonstration we went, there were people who felt that, look, we know the police will come against us, so we are ready. They said, look, they tell you, say, look, come here, senior, look, we have this. We are waiting for the police. We are waiting for But we said that, look, nothing would happen.
Yeah.
They should not be scared.
Right.
Right. So I think it is time. We pride ourselves that we are the doyens of democracy within the sub-region. We have done well. These are the minuses, because I don't think they should have arrested them. You see, this is something that, yes, but I'm sure the police also felt that they were not taking their command or their instructions.
Right.
They have breached. But if the person has breached, there should be other alternatives. But the brute force that is being used, and you see, some of the police also, the moment they put on the uniform, they believe that I have all the powers of the state behind me, and I can do anything, and I'll be protected.
Right.
This is what I believe that we should look at.
Right.
But Victor, just to take you up on your last point, when you give the opinion that you think they should not have arrested them, as a lawyer, you need to understand that there's a cause and effect.
Yes.
You saw items of private property being burnt.
Yes.
It wasn't.
No,
I'm coming.
yeah.
I won't talk plenty, but I'm just taking you up on that point. The police do not arrest in a vacuum. There's a cause and effect, and I agree with you totally that when we held not only the leaders but also the actors accountable, otherwise they would somehow say, "I'll do the damage, and my leader will get the flack," or get the. You have to arrest that agent of disorder at that point, and also, like as class action, hold the leader accountable as well.
Yeah.
So let's understand that there was breach of the peace, there was disorderliness. I mean, today we all have our mobile phones, and we saw, content from the public of what they were doing that was against the law. So let's understand that they were arrested with due course.
Yeah, but we also saw some of them just standing and not doing anything, but they were also arrested. What are your views on that?
Oh, on that one, I'm coming. I want to answer Chris directly. Where somebody's just standing, sometimes you need to see the whole picture. Let's take it prima facie. They're standing and just arrested. Then, of course, I would side with them in that the police have breached their bounds. I think that we don't need to argue over the realities that we can see clearly. I'm referencing what I've seen, the content that I've seen.
Right.
But in instances where somebody's standing, then definitely the police needs to also be held accountable.
Right,
I agree with you.
Right. Now, with the issue of their leader actually pulling off the key of the police vehicle, now he's, the police have actually put out a manhunt for him. What are your thoughts on that too?
It's in accordance with the law. If we allow the leadership, and then going to what Victor said earlier, if you allow the leadership to escape responsibility, and here's something, when you go to the minutiae of it, it's theft. That's the first misdemeanor or felony. It's
so
theft.
we can actually see the video there.
Yeah. The first thing is theft. Then he passes it on to somebody else, which is what? Aiding and abetting. So definitely the manhunt is legitimate and he needs to be arrested.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Clear evidence.
Right. So
clear evidence.
Right. So with protests growing more frequent, right? What does your party actually propose as a solution for addressing public grievances? I mean, without infringing their right to protest, because obviously we're getting closer to the elections. It seems like more people are probably going to come out with protest, because last week we saw a protest by the NDC and also the Democratic Hub. We don't know who is next. So what does your party actually propose as a solution for addressing these grievances?
Okay, well, I believe your question is in two. There's party and there's government.
Right.
There's a dichotomy.
Right.
So if you're saying what does my party propose or what does government propose, well, I'll try and answer both so that we can compartmentalize it properly. What government has done over the last 8 years is resource the police. You have over 4,053 vehicles being made available to the police service as a whole. Again, the police personnel has increased from around 37,000 to now 69,000. So you're having more bobbies on the beat, as we say, more boots on the ground, giving, one, social confidence in our security. Again, you're having, the CCTV camera system networked so that we're, again, assisting not only the police, but the citizenry,
Right.
to know that there are eyes on our community safeguarding us. These are all interventions that government, of course, through the party, because that was part of our manifesto mandate in 2016, during the 2016 campaign and 2020 campaigns, to make sure that the police are well resourced and equipped. Now, coming back to, that's government side. Now, coming back to party, what we propose is to make sure that the police constantly know that they are a police service as opposed to a police force. First and foremost, that's what they say.
So you're a service before.
The service. And so what we do is make sure as a party, we are continually making sure that that nexus, that relationship between the police and the citizenry, as a party, we are formulating policies that resource the police and also make sure that we, the citizenry, see them as friends and partners in our social protection. So that's what the party is doing. And when you create that relationship, Chris, you find that we can both when I say we both, police and the citizenry can interact when people make a legitimate application to protest. So that's what party is doing, formulating policies that create a strong relationship so that we see the police as partners and not as our enemies. And then on the government side, we're making sure that then we walk our talk and resource the police, making sure that remuneration, the pay incentives, the salaries, the education, the training, promotions, and equipments, all the resources that the police have cried for so many years are being well resourced to them. And when you have a police that is well resourced and satisfied, you find that that also translates in how they relate to us as well.
Right, right. So, do you have anything to
Yeah,
add?
yes.
Yeah.
You see, therefore, what government will have to do, they know perfectly what to do. You see, when you're in government and there's a wind of change blowing, the people are dissatisfied, they are hungry, they are angry. Protests will continue. You see, we call it the anti-incumbency. Anti-incumbency. Because the people are tired, they are dissatisfied with some performances. I'm telling you, if people are satisfied and they have what they want, they will not even go on the street. But it's because the anger within them, they want to vent, the pent-up anger in them, vent it. So the demonstrations will continue. And as a government, you should know that these are sentiments. Whilst you're in government, there are things you can do. There are others you cannot do. In opposition, you have the laxity to say things that as a government you will not be able to communicate.
Right.
This is a point that the government should be, and know that, look, people will demonstrate until maybe things they perceive are right. But when there's a perception, they think that things are not going right, I think the other thing will be for government to communicate properly. Sometimes people get tired with some of the people who come to communicate, and they think of arrogance, and they believe that these people have not been truthful to us. So today, so I think properly, yes, whilst it is their right, government should be able to say that this is what is going to happen. That's why I'm saying that if the perception that the police are doing the right thing, we will not see this vandalism and the rest on the street, and the arbitrary arrest and the rest. When I say don't, like they arrest them and put them behind counter, that's what I'm saying. You could, once you identify them that these are troubleshooters, you can take them and put them somewhere. Even there and there, you block them. That look, you won't do this.
But not take them to the police station.
But once you take them, go and put them in cells, lock them up. Because the law allows that as a policeman, I should be locked for 48 hours. Right?
Yeah.
So if that is what, I have to abuse that because the law allows me 48 hours. After 48 hours, I can now grant you bail. And I've always said, if the police are professional and I come to police station and you tell me that the law allows me 48 hours to detain you, if you cooperate with me within the next 30 minutes, I take your statement, I give you bail, you go. Who won't cooperate with the police? Who will not? In his right frame, he knows that, look, when I come within 30 minutes, they are ready. But once they keep me there, they say 48 hours that the law allows me. You see, these are things that we need. And demonstrations, as we are getting to elections,
yeah.
the tensions are building up.
Yeah.
And that's why sometimes
Clearly.
I feel that, look, government You know, just sometimes you need to accede and demonstrate to the people that I'm genuine. What I'm saying, what I'm behaving or we are doing is genuine and sincere. But when the people feel that this is not genuine, there's insincerity, there's some dishonesty, or thing that they think that will not be done, and they tell you it will be done, that is when the people become agitated.
Right.
You know,
See, Victor.
I'm just giving an example. Maybe we've dovetailed into it. This EC, the disqualification of the people, you're heightening the tension. You know, if 2016 we have a template that will serve us right, it will tell you that the disqualification, look at what happened, all those, at the end of the day, we still have to come back to the same point.
Victor, let me just, I want to quickly address a couple of statements that you just made. One, you mentioned that the police are abusing the power of being able to incarcerate or detain people for 48 hours. How is an abuse of power when you are working in accordance with the law? Now, I'm coming. You see, we bemoan, Chris, how Ghana is indisciplined across board. There's littering, people are urinating where they shouldn't, and what do you call it? Illegal tapping of electrical supplies, all the things you can mention. We say we are an indisciplined society. I'm coming. So when you have an agent who has been given the powers to enforce that discipline, now we want to turn that into abuse.
No, maybe you didn't get me well.
Let me get you
See,
better.
let me give you this comparison. When you travel to the Western world, when the policeman comes, he will smile with you, he will laugh with you, but he will do his job. He will arrest you. That's what I'm saying, that if you're a professional, I'm not saying don't arrest people when they commit crime or they are alleged to commit a crime. But within that 48 hours that the law allows you, if it's 30 minutes, I can use and grant you bail to go, right? The person will be reasonable enough to say that, let me cooperate with you. But when he knows that, look, I will not be granted bail, I will not be given anything 48 hours, it will be only after 48 hours that I'll be granted bail. He's not going to cooperate with you.
But on what basis, Victor, are you saying that?
No. Because the law says that you can keep me for 48 hours.
Is it always the case? Or don't you think this has to do with the fueling agitation that is going on because of the protest? Like,
No, sometimes when you arrest people, it is good that you keep them behind bars, just so that you can have some respite. I'm not saying so. What I'm saying is this petty is, they arrest you, they take statement, they put you before their superior. Their superior will look at it. With this particular case, bail can be granted. Police have been given that power to grant bail. With this nature of this particular case, listen, we police can't give bail. We are taking it to court. So once you tell the person within 30 minutes, he will cooperate with you. I'm talking from the perspective that there should be some cooperation. Once we see them as friends, they also see us as the same people. You won't find people who will be recalcitrant and they see the police as enemies. So even when you arrest them, they want to fight you. They want to make things difficult for you.
Don't you think it's an issue of public awareness? Don't you think some people do not know about this? Don't you think it's time to teach the people
that is
their
why,
rights?
as an officer, police officer, you need to let the man know that, look, I've arrested you. It's an allegation. We'll have to go to court to prove. However, you need to give me statement. After your statement, whatever you have, I will take it to my superior. And if my superior agrees with me, within 30 minutes or 1 hour, you can go home.
Chris, we're sitting on this platform. Per the submissions you're giving, Victor, we're assuming that it's one-sided. For all you know, out of the 20 that were arrested, this conversation you are alluding to happened.
Yes.
And then you threw a statement about the people are angry and what have you. It's true. Nobody is 100% satisfied. That's why we work to build upon the achievements that we have. And that's what the party is doing. That's what His Excellency Alhaji Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia is doing per his vision for Ghana post-2024. Now, when you say the people, it's such a general term. But the numbers should somehow validate your statement. I'm not in any way, shape, or form saying that the numbers therefore delegitimizes what you're saying. You understand me? It's not for me to say somebody's not angry because the numbers aren't there, but the numbers speak volumes that indeed the majority of Ghanaians recognize the good works that the government is doing. Otherwise, you would have a whole swarm of people, as we did in 2016. Bamoyada, Mimpene, Wopene, you were there. And I had discussions with you on other channels. You had a whole swathe.
Let my vote count.
Yeah, you had a whole swathe of Ghanaians fed up with the incompetence of the John Mahama administration. And it became evident in the numbers. What you had recently with the EC demonstration last week, the numbers were not there. I'm not in any way at all, Chris, somehow diminishing the right. But it's numbers. We're going for an election right now, December 7, 2024, and it's numbers that we're going to work with. So if you don't have the numbers turning out in this democracy hub, and they didn't turn out, you just saw it just now. You had swathes of open space. Again, repeating, I'm not in any way somehow diminishing the importance. But I just wanted to bring Victor up on that point, that the majority of Ghanaians, the silent majority, if you will, not only are they satisfied, they recognize that we are charting a course to prosperity. And you've seen that in the bold solutions and the vision of His Excellency Alhaji Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia. You've seen it clearly that we've had our challenges economically, and you can see the turnaround.
Oh, don't you think people are fed up? That's why they're not coming out?
No. I mean, it would be disingenuous of me to say, to speak for those who didn't turn out. But the proof of the pudding is in the eating. Ghanaians, I don't think we've changed since 8 years ago. You had hundreds of thousands of people in Kumasi, Takrady, Accra, and Tamale. I was there because I was the spokesperson of Let My Vote Count Alliance, so together with David Asante, yes, as the convener, and John Hall, Gabi Otre Daku. So I'm speaking, I remember John Mahama said to compare is mediocre. But I think you need to assess the two environments and understand that you had Ghanaians legitimately coming out in the numbers to support a common cause. Here, you don't see that same equity in terms of Ghanaians coming out for Democracy Hub.
You see, let me put it, when there's the wind of change, no matter what you do, that wind of change will be blowing. You see, you can see that, look, I have achieved a lot. You can tell the people I've done A, B, C, D. But when the wind of change, nothing will stop it. And that's what we saw in 2016. When the government has done much, that wind of change, nobody could stop it. And that is what we are seeing today. That there is a wind of change, whether you like it or not. Look, 2016, the goodwill for the government was top-notch. They won with over 1 million. 2020, the votes reduced. Today, their own office of the president is telling us that the votes, the opinion they did is a tie. Once they know very well that they are losing, but just to energize the base, their base, telling them that nobody has a clear, so why are you dripping? If the government has done so well, why are the votes, the numbers dripping? So for me, I'll just wait. I'm sure on the 9th of December, the silent majority who did not come on the streets and you think are for you will speak.
All right.
And when they speak, we'll know. I won't get involved in the incompetence and being a liar and no. For me, I think that it's about issues, what the citizens want. You know, insults and the rest do not win election.
All right, so on that note, we would actually take a quick break and we will be right back. Stay tuned.